Good evening. I'm so glad you stopped by today. You know, on such winter evenings, you especially crave something warm and cozy. Let's just sit together, talk. I wanted to share my favorite winter joys with you. Just look at how beautifully the snow is falling. In moments like this, time seems to slow down, doesn't it? Each snowflake twirls in its own special dance, and the whole world becomes a little magical. You know, this morning I woke up earlier than usual. It was still dark outside, but I saw the snow falling, such big, fluffy flakes. I could stay at home. I threw on my coat, wrapped up in my favorite scarf, and went outside. In moments like that, it feels like you're the first person on earth. There is such a ringing silence around. Only the snow crunches underfoot. And the air, it's so fresh, crystalline. You take a deep breath and it feels like you are inhaling magic itself. Do you know that feeling when the frosty air tingles a bit and your cheeks start to burn from the cold? Have you noticed how the city transforms after snowfall? Even the most ordinary things become fairy tale-like. The street lamps turn into snow owls' teeth. Rooftops are covered with fluffy snow blankets. This morning I saw a funny sight on a snow-covered bench. There was a little bird with a tiny snow hat on its head. It was shaking, trying to get off. There is a special music to winter, don't you think? The scrunch of snow underfoot, like someone stored in the pages of an old book. The jingles of bicycles in the wind, like crystal bells playing a tune. And if you stop and listen in complete silence, you can hear the snowflakes falling. What are your favorite winter moments? Maybe it's the first cup of tea after a long walk, or a cozy evening under the blanket when a blizzard is outside, or maybe it's a moment when you wake up in the morning and see that the whole world outside has turned pure white. You know what else I love about winter? How it seems to take us back to childhood. Yesterday, I passed by an ice rink in the park. There were adults and children there. But you know what's amazing? They all had the same expressions on their faces. So happy, as if all worries were left somewhere out there, beyond the ring. Some were holding onto the edge unsteadily. Some were already performing graceful spins, and some were just gliding, arms spread wide, as if trying to embrace the whole world. And nearby on the playground there was a home snow fort being built. Imagine such serious adults, probably sitting in offices during the day, solving important matters, and here, with red cheeks from the cold, they were enthusiastically rolling snowballs and arguing about what a perfect snowman should look like. Some people are discovering skiing trails. They say there's nothing more gambling than gliding through snow forest in complete silence. Others prefer sledding. It's an art in itself, to find the best feel in the air. But what's especially wonderful? The moment you return home after all these winter adventures, when your cheeks are burning from the cold, your fingers are numb, and your nose is red from the frost, and you cross the threshold, and the warmth of home wraps around you. Slowly you take off your scarf, your mittens, and at home there is already hot cup of tea and maybe freshly baked cookies waiting for you. And what about you? What are your ideal winter weekends? Maybe you're someone who can imagine winter without skiing, or do you prefer creating whole snow stories in your yard? Or maybe for you the best winter day is when you don't have to hurry anywhere and can watch the snowfall from the window. Books and winter evenings are inseparable for me. When I was a child, my grandmother always read to me before bed. We would wrap ourselves in a big blanket. She'd brew cacao with cinnamon, and the magic would begin. Now, when I read on winter evenings, it feels like I'm going back to the time the same coziness, the same dissipation of wonder. Only now I get to choose the stories myself. Recently, I found a very special tale. It's so wintry, and there is so much warmth in it, even though it takes place in a cold season. Would you like me to read it to you? Make yourself comfortable. Maybe wrap yourself in a blanket. Take a cup of warm tea. Allow yourself to immerse fully in the story. The story of the teapot. On the windowsill of an old cozy house lived a cup of teapot. It wasn't the most beautiful or fashionable one, with a slightly dented side and a lid darkened by time, but it had an amazing gift. It could brew exactly the kind of tea that a person needed at that very moment. Every evening, the teapot would watch with interest as people came into the house. There was a young artist. She was always in a hurry, but when she took a cup of her hands, she would slow down, watching the steam draw intricate patterns in the air. For her, the teapot would brew tea with notes of bergamot and lavender. To count her ever-racing thoughts, and then there was the elderly music teacher. He would sip his tea in small gulp, closing his eyes as if listening to something. For him, the teapot brewed tea with cinnamon and apple, filled with the warm scent of childhood memories. The student from the upper floor often came with books. She draped herself in a big knitted scarf and warmed her hands on the cup. For her, the teapot made spicy masala tea to warm not just her hands, but her soul during long evenings with her textbooks. But the teapot loved winter evenings the most, when snow was falling outside. Then everyone would gather together, the artist sketching in her notebook, the teacher softly humming out melodies, and the student reading your favorite poems aloud. In such moments, the teapot would brew a special tea with a drop of honey, a pinch of ginger, and a tiny spark of magic. And you know what? They say that on such evenings, even the simplest stories told over a cup of his tea would turn a little magical. Or maybe they were always magical. You just need the right tea and the ability to notice wonders in simple things. Beautiful, isn't it? You know what I especially love in this story? The way the ordinary blends with the magical. Each of us is a little like the characters in this tale. Each of us has our own special way of drinking tea, our little rituals. After such story, you especially want to warm up with a cup of tea. You know, I have a little ritual for winter evenings. I brew tea with ginger, cinnamon, and a pinch of cardamom. I add a touch of magic. It seems to me that each drink holds the mood of the moment. Morning tea invigorates and energizes. Daytime tea refreshes and helps to concentrate. And evening tea is special. It seems to help you slow down, listen to yourself, remember all the good things that happened during the day. In moments like this, I love just sitting in silence, watching the steam rise from the cup, how it goes in the air. Sometimes it feels like you can see stories in these patterns, just like in our tale. You know, time has flown by while we were talking. It's already dark outside. Only the snow continues its quiet dance in the light of the street lamps. Thank you for sharing this cozy evening with me, for listening to my stories, for dreaming together with me. Moments like this make you realize how important it is to sometimes just stop, wrap yourself in a blanket and allow yourself to be here and now. I hope you carry a bit of this coziness with you, and maybe on some cold winter evening, while brewing a cup of hot tea, you'll remember our meeting and smile. May your winter evenings be filled with warmth, coziness, and a little wonders. And I'll be waiting for our next meeting with new stories and a fresh cup of warming tea.